You ever been told you weren't good enough while standing in a building you built? That's not a metaphor. That's my life on my father's birthday, my own luxury hotel. This is the story of how the failure of the family walked into a billionaire's life.
Ow.
She'd already built and made them watch. You know that feeling when the blood rushes to your fingertips? The tingling like electricity trying to escape your skin? That was me. Standing outside the Grand Azure Hotel, my hotel holding my own key card, being told by my sister that I wasn't allowed inside. The irony? My father's booming laughter was echoing from the lobby I designed, paid for, and owned. Vanessa stood there in a knockoff designer dress I recognized instantly from sketches my friend had shown me over lunch. She smoothed the fabric, leaned in with a condescending whisper, "You can't seriously think you're coming in. This is the Grand Azure, Ellie. The tasting menu alone costs more than you make in a month." She didn't know I personally created that menu with our Michelin-starred chef. She didn't know the small envelope in my clutch held the deed to a villa in Tuscany mine to gift. "He's my father too," I said. "Mom and Dad were very specific," she replied. "They only want successful people here, people who won't embarrass the family." I almost laughed. Just yesterday, I'd signed off on a $100 million expansion of the Grand Azure chain. 10 years ago, when I left the family accounting firm to study hospitality, my father told me no daughter of his would be a glorified waitress. I let them believe I was struggling while I built Azure Hospitality Group 35 luxury hotels. Across 3 continents, a $1 billion valuation, 5,000 employees. Eleanor. My mother appeared, sharp and cold. "What are you doing here? We discussed this." No, they had discussed it. Her text this morning had said, "Don't come to Dad's birthday. She can't afford it. Don't embarrass us." I held up the envelope. "I brought a gift." "What is it?" "A gift card to Olive Garden?" She smirked. Vanessa laughed. My Italian leather clutch cost more than her car, but my mother's eyes were on her favorite child. "Your sister's gift is more appropriate." She made junior partner. I knew her firm was desperate to lease office space in one of my buildings. "Vanessa's doing so well," she continued. "New house, luxury car, wonderful fiancé. And you, at least you're trying." Thought of my Central Park penthouse, my sports cars, the private jet I flew in on. "Yes," I said. "At least I'm trying." Vanessa smirked. "Speaking of trying, that dress, couldn't you have made an effort?" "This is the Grand Azure, not a diner." I ran my hand over the black silk custom-made in Paris by a designer who had refused to work with her last month. "It's what I could manage." "Well, you can't come in. We reserve the VIP floor. For family and distinguished guests only." My VIP floor, the one I redesigned last year, chandeliers, art, everything. And the guests. The Andersons.
Yes.
The Blackwoods. Mr. Harrison from the bank, my mother said. All very important people who just happened to lease from me, beg me for memberships, or want loans from my investment group. Right, I said? Very important. Exactly. So you see why you can't be here. What would people think if they knew Dad's failure of a daughter was serving drinks? Be nice, my mother said. But she meant the opposite. Then Gavin, my brother-in-law, appeared. Eleanor didn't expect to see you? My fiancé just made vice president at his bank, my mother bragged. Junior vice president, I corrected. I knew because I had the bank's file. More impressive than whatever you're doing, Vanessa said. Assistant manager at a chain restaurant? I thought of the board meeting I'd left that morning, discussing the acquisition of Gavin's bank. Something like that, I said. This is ridiculous, my mother snapped. Just go. I'll tell your father you couldn't make it. Couldn't afford it, you mean? Vanessa laughed. I looked past them into my hotel, at every detail I'd chosen. For a moment, I considered leaving. My mentor's words came back. Success means nothing if you can't stand up for yourself. I straightened my shoulders. Actually, I think I'll stay. And then perfect timing, Owen, my head of security, stepped outside. Everything all right, Madam CEO? Your usual table is ready, and Chef Michel has the tasting menu for your approval. Silence. Vanessa's jaw dropped. My mother clutched the door. Oh, and I smiled. Perfect timing. My family was just explaining how I couldn't afford to dine here. But you own the entire hotel chain, ma'am, he said. Yes, I do. I turned to my family. Shall we? You've reserved the VIP floor. My VIP floor, to be precise. This is some kind of joke, Gavin said. You're just a restaurant manager. Actually, Owen corrected. Miss Eleanor is the founder and CEO of Azure Hospitality Group. She owns all 35 Grand Azure hotels along with our resort properties and restaurants. Vanessa's clutch hit the marble. But that's impossible. The Grand Azure is worth billions, I finished. Which makes your tasting menu comment musing. I stepped into the lobby. Staff straightened. Good evening, Miss Eleanor, the front desk manager said. Executive suite is ready for your father's birthday? Thank you, Rachel. I looked back. Coming? They followed in stunned silence. My mother finally whispered, But your dress custom-made in Paris. $30,000. Unlike Vanessa's knockoff Valentino, the real collection hasn't been released yet. I know because I attended the private showing. In the elevator, my keycard unlocked the VIP lounge. The room hushed when we entered. Eleanor, my father asked. Your mother said you couldn't afford it? Happy birthday, I said, handing him the envelope. I hope you don't mind me crashing. In my own hotel? Your hotel? Harrison stepped forward. Miss Eleanor? I had no idea you were Robert's daughter. We've been trying to meet with you for months about that loan. Eleanor owns the Grand Azure, Thomas Anderson said. Robert, your daughter's been buying all the prime real estate. My father's face paled. I thought you were just a glorified waitress. Your words, I said. From the day I left the firm, why didn't you tell us? My mother demanded. Would you have believed me? You didn't then. Why would I share my success with people who only measure worth by money? Though by that metric, I'm worth more than everyone here combined. Vanessa slumped. The villa in France. The one I tried to rent? Mine, I confirmed. Just like the office space your firm can't afford. Gavin. And the resort membership you've been waitlisted for, Mother. My father's voice shook. Can you forgive us? Forgiveness isn't the issue. Respect is. Respect success after it's proven. Now you can tell people your daughter owns the Grand Azure. That should impress them. I turned to the guests. Please enjoy the party. Everything is on the house. My house. I walked away. For the next hour, people who'd ignored me before lined up to talk business. The Blackwoods begged for memberships. Mr. Harrison pitched his loan. Vanessa's fiancé vanished. Gavin made calls. My mother cried, then claimed she'd always believed in me. Later, I found my father alone on the terrace. He pointed to the skyline. How many of those buildings are yours? Enough, I said, including the family firms. He nodded. I was wrong about you. Yes, you were. I left him and went to my private office. Tomorrow, everything would change Vanessa's golden child status, my mother's narrative, Gavin's job. But tonight, I took my seat at the table. A table I built. In a room I owned, under a roof I paid for. And here's what I want you to remember. To remember to invite you to the table. Build your own. Build the room, own the roof. If this story inspires you, share it with someone who's been underestimated. Your worth isn't in their approval, it's in what you've built when no one believed in you.